Good morning. Good morning. How you doing this morning? I hope all is well. All right. I'm Sandy, your business strategist, but I come in here this morning. We're going to talk about something totally different than we normally would discuss, but it's also pertaining to it. Mind, our minds above matter. And what I want to share about minds above matter this morning, because I know a lot of us are not where we are in life because we have let life get in the way, right? Okay. But you listen at me now. Now listen closely. And I do know that this will bless you. It's gonna bless you this morning. And we're gonna tie in some scriptures with this to let you know that, hey, I'm just not just saying this. This is real. You see what's going on in the world and things like that, and you see that people are, you know, they're just losing their mind, right? And but we're just gonna I'm gonna give it to you from my perspective, and let me because I don't want to be interrupted. I don't want to be. There we go. Don't want to be interrupted there. Alrighty. Now, first of all, let me just tell you what the mind is. The mind is the element or complex of elements in an individual that feels, perceived, thinks, will, and especially in reasoning, right? So our minds are so powerful that we don't realize. Our minds have kept us from wealth. Our minds have kept us from peace. Our minds has kept us from a lot of conscious and unconscious things that really didn't serve us well. Now, on the other end of it all, let's talk about the mental side, the conscious, and the second definition is the conscious mental events of or capacity of an organism. And the mind is set. The mind is the set of faculties responsible for mental phenomena. And then when I read that, I wanted to talk. What is mental? Mental is relating to the mind. So whatever is going on in our head or in our mind, it is very well affected. I'm sorry, by our mental state. Now, the mental health industry is a $383 billion industry. And I think that when they changed and kind of like did away, government kind of like start defunding mental health issues. I don't know about you, but I saw a lot of stuff going on. But here again, I'm not getting into deep with that, but I just do know this: the reason why, from a business standpoint, I just kind of I see it all the time, and I understand that a lot of the reasons why a lot of us haven't accomplished those things in life that we want to, and things in life that we know that we are we're worthy of, is because of the mind and our mental state a lot of times. So and sometimes we just we haven't been exposed to some things, but this is what I want to kind of touch on it a little bit. And I just want to encourage you this morning to get your minds above matter. Whatever the situation is, your mind above matter is going to make a difference in your your life from this day on, really. And it's already, a lot of things has already been established in us. And that's why you see personal development now is doing extremely well out here, because no one can really measure. I repeat this, it can't be measured how effective personal development can be. Every individual is different. I repeat that. Every individual is different. No two people have the same measurement when it comes down to your mental health, especially. So, just like I'm going to give you a couple of scriptures. Set your minds on the things above, not on earthly things. This is Colossians 3:2, and it is what it is, and it says what it says. Set your mind on things above. Minds above matter. Not on earthly things. And when we get caught up in what other people have, what other people are doing, what I don't have, and we are measuring ourselves with what other people have, we are measuring ourselves on other people's personal development. We're measuring ourselves. You get it? We are measuring ourselves amongst other people. And some of you, just call a spade and admit it. We are measuring ourselves through other people. And that's when you get the competition, that's when you get the hatred, and that's when you get all of these other emotions that come along with we done forgot who we were, and we trying to be somebody else. We over here trying to be someone else. And that's why you get the discontentment. That's why you get the fear, because it's false evidence appearing real. Your real reality is wrapped up into somebody else, and it shouldn't be that. I am so glad when I learned this and I got this, God, it was so liberating. And I'm going to tell you, it was so freeing to, you have to pinch yourself sometimes. And it, it really, I can't, sometimes words can't explain that, how when you're operating into your gifts and your talents, and when you're operating in the calling that God has called you, you feel so, that's why you feel liberated. Don't you feel free when you're really, really not worrying about the judgment of other people? You don't have to tell me here, but I'm willing to bet you that is the way you feel. You feel that way. I know you do. I know it because it's real. It's not saying these laws. It's not biz strategist saying this strategy. It's not that. It is what it is. It's the law. It is the principles that God, one of the principles that God has for this whole universe. So another one, hey, another scripture I do want to say, be careful when be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of everything, every opportunity, because the days are evil. That's Ephesians 5:15 and 16. So you got to be careful, hey, how we live. When we are conscious of what we're doing to others, and it's not, this is a good example and a good point to bring on, how they say karma. We reap what we sow, things like that. You hear people say that. You got to be careful in how you live. And when you're operating on the promises of God, and when you're operating on the laws that He put into the land, life is so sweet. It is so sweet. We're gonna have trials and tribulations, but at the same time, minds above matter. We got to keep our minds together. We got to keep our minds stayed on, the scripture says we got to keep our minds stayed on God, stayed on thee. That will keep us in perfect peace. We won't have any peace if our minds is on everything and everybody else. That's why when you try to keep your mind and you try to be competitive with other people, that's why if you realize it, if you admit it, your life is chaotic for you. Okay, you may not, nothing goes right. You're just not feeling well, and you're just not. I don't know. Things are just not happening for you. So, that's one of them too. And I'm gonna give you another one, and that'll be it. I just, like I said, I just wanted to come in and give you some little morning inspiration, some morning thoughts about the mind, because I have a whole channel that I've started. This is just an inspirational channel that I have on my Instagram, Minds Above Matter, and I haven't posted my things up there yet, but I will be. It'll be like a daily devotion. So anyway, one more is about, let's see, this one here is going to be referring to it's going to be referring to wisdom, right? Wisdom. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom. And that's James 3:13. Those three key words: humility, wisdom, and life. When we got our minds right, we realize that, hey, we're not, our minds are not pretty much, we have to pretty much protect them. We have to feed them with positive things. We have to keep our minds stayed on thee. We have to keep our minds stayed on God. And therefore, we can humbly, we're wise when we do that. We are using wisdom, like, how it is, like Solomon in the Bible. He asked God for wisdom, and God gave it to him. And his life was not the same when he implemented that and when he operated in that. Now, remember I said about the mind one more time before I go. The element or complex of elements in in an individual that feels, perceives, thinks, wills, and especially reasons. So we have what? We have a lot. We have some things going on in our mind: the feeling, the perception, the thinking, the will of something. God gives us what? Free will, and especially reasoning. Sometimes we reason with good judgment or good thought, and we reason with it's like what has really happened to us, right? And the mind is a set of faculties responsible for our mental phenomena. Okay, whatever. Okay, now the mind is consist of the elements. So whatever happened to us, the, those are some things that we feel, right? The way we perceive something is our mental state. Just like people may perceive that certain people are bad. It can be, they can hold it, they can play the race card. It can be anything. And then think, we can think that we can think that we're right about something, or we can think that it's this way, or we can think that it's that way. That's a part of our mental health. And then our will, whatever we feel that our will is whatever we want to, what we think is right, what we want to do. It's, hey, it's not always right, but hey. And then the last one is reasoning. Sometimes our reasoning is just not culture, or shall I say, it's not the way it is. Our reasoning comes from what a compartment of, I think, our life experiences. So sometimes, that's, like I said again, about personal development. That's why we have to make sure that we develop ourselves personally. A lot of us, especially the African American race, we don't want to get mental health counseling and things like that. We need it a lot of times. Other races have no problem with getting that because they understand this. They understand what I just mentioned about, our feelings, perception, thinking, and the will, and reasoning. They understand we need help at times. We need traumatic experiences in our lives. We pass them down to the next generation, next generation, next generation. And that's why I think sometimes that our children, or the ones that, the next bloodline, that's why sometimes everything sometimes is passed on down to them. Our bad habits, our way of thinking, our lack thereof, or prosperity thereof, whatever it is. It's all wrapped up into this mind. Minds above matter. That's all I'm saying. But this is just some little inspiration I do want to share with you. Minds above matter. One more thing I do want to say too before I go: even if your mind is hooked on living paycheck to paycheck, day by day, nobody's in your family's been an entrepreneur or things like that. You never saw that, right? The you never saw something outside of something. And when you do go outside of the norm of the family or the norm of your environment, then there it is. Our minds kind of revert back because outside forces, outside people are judging, and they're saying things, and they're trying to put their perception on where you should be, or because they're not where they want to be, their perception of the whole picture of what you're doing, and then they become what? Judgmental. And then you come, oh goodness, you back up, you kind of like sit down, and you get complacent, and you're right back. You're not moving forward because your environment is not conducive as to where you want to go. So like I say, yeah, we need to get our minds above matter. If you talk to any millionaire successful person, and I've been in rooms and heard a lot of people talk about their way of life and the things that they've done. I guarantee you, they'll tell you that they had to get from amongst the environment they were in. Because if not, y'all even hear some of your favorite celebrities have said it. You you won't go anywhere. You'll be stuck just back. You'll be stuck like Chuck, just back into the ancient times of where you were. And like I always tell people too, I had a talk with a young lady the other day. Actually, it's a friend of mine. And we were talking, and I said to her, you know, people think they know you, but they really don't know you. They look at you from when you were 10, 15, 20 years ago. They don't really know who you are. They know where you were at that stage. And I tell people, you you can stay back there, but I left a long time ago. You can stay back there, but I left a long time ago. Okay. So that's why I think a lot of us are dealing with things minds above, and we're just battling and we're struggling and and just being whew, just being limit limited in what we can do. All jokes aside, we're being limited because of those things I said, our feelings, perception, our thinking, and the will, and especially our reasoning. So all of that is, when we deal with that, we'll be better people. We really would. Alrighty. Alrighty. I just wanted to share that with you this morning. I'll talk to you later. Hope you have a beautiful day. And I will be back later on, and also getting ready for my workshop on Saturday. Alrighty. So, guys, people, if you are one of the ones that may be interested, go to pushtodream.com and you see the more information. And I've even put some videos up to explain what's going to be going on that whole entire day. But here again, mind's above matter, people. Get your mind right, and it'll be above everything else. Okay. Alrighty. And those scriptures, it was just a couple of them. There are a lot of them on mine, especially in the Bible. So here again, thank you so much. Talk to you. Have a beautiful morning. Alrighty. And I have a 10 o'clock meeting, so I got to get ready for that. Alrighty. Bye-bye. Take care. See you later. Minds above matter. Bye-bye.